Welcome back to the Ocala Jockey Club International 3-day event. We've just had the 1-star show jumping. Now we'll be kicking off the 3-star show jumping. I'm Jenny Autry, joined once again by Karen O'Connor to bring you the finale of what has been a fabulous weekend. Karen?
Oh, it's been a great weekend. The weather's been fantastic. What a just amazing venue. We had pretty exciting 1-star competition just a little bit ago, finished up, and you know, the show jumping means everything out here today, doesn't it?
Absolutely. The scores are extremely tightly bunched after the first two phases. Catherine Coleman and Monty Classico moved up to take the lead following cross country yesterday in the 3-star. We'll take a look at those scores as we come ahead into show jumping. And Karen, there really is not a lot of breathing room when you look at that there. Catherine cannot afford to have a rail down because Lauren Kiefer and Paramount Importance are waiting in the wings on that score of 37.1. Joe Meyer and Johnny Royale moved up into third place on 41.8. Then you have Aaron Sylvester and Patty the Caddy in fourth on 43.8, and Hallie Kuhn and Lansdowne in fifth on 45.3. There's absolutely no breathing room there. It's going to be a real nail biter.
Well, and I know the top two horses and riders very, very well,
Yes.
and they are going to have a fight to the finish. They're both sitting on amazing show jumpers. I'd be very surprised if either one of them had a rail, but you know, it is a sport, and you can have an unlucky rail for no real fault of your own, but we're going to see how this is going to go. It's going to be pretty exciting.
It's going to be a thrilling finale, and you see here some highlights from cross country across all the divisions yesterday. Karen, the footing was superb. We could not have asked for it to be any better.
It really was. We had a great day of sport. The horses thoroughly enjoyed it. Spectators were having a wonderful time, and you know, what's not to like, right? Look at the way these horses are just navigating around the course yesterday, having a blast.
And Clayton Frederick's course received much praise across the board from the horses and riders, and we saw a lot of happy horses at the final horse inspection this morning, which is absolutely what you want to be seeing. And now we will look ahead to the final test. It is Chris Barnard's show jumping track, and we will take a closer look at the course as we count down to the start. But first, we're going to take a look at the sponsors who are making this live stream possible.
You made a promise. You agreed to never give up. To be a decent neighbor. To ask, what else can I do? You agreed to remember the good people who rise with every challenge. To remember their strength when you feel tired. To serve with grit and grace. To do all your jobs bravely, beautifully. You made a promise. We did too. The all-new Ram 1500.
Do more of what you love in Ocala, Marion County. More rides through natural wonders, more legendary competition, more chances to meet and get to know some of the biggest names in the equestrian world. Experience the horse capital of the world and discover where champions are made. Explore and do more at ocalamarion.com.
You don't realize what a difference they make until you realize what a difference they make. The all-new Ram 1500. Why more people are switching to Ram than ever before.
Welcome to the finale of three-star show jumping at the Ocala Jockey Club International 3-day event. You see a beautiful aerial drone shot of the fabulous Ocala Jockey Club. Karen, we are so lucky to have an event at this world caliber venue.
It certainly is. My goodness, what a magnificent view that is. And you can see that we've got plenty of spectators today, and the riders in the three-star are just warming up now for doing their final prep for the show jumping. They're trying to get the horses connected and more energetic, and get the horses careful for the show jumping, and make sure that the horses really know the difference between cross country and show jumping. Today, keep the rails in the poles. And the poles in the cups, I mean.
That is the name of the game. We have no breathing room at all, and we looked at this leaderboard. After the cross country, we have just 9 horses and riders who will come forward in all in this three-star. And the leader after cross country, Catherine Coleman of Monte Classico, cannot afford a rail in hand. Chris Barnard, one of our top course designers in this country, has really set out a top track, and we will see Kristen Bond and Enough Already as the first pair. And there you see their way, Karen.
Yeah, she's up over the first fence, and Kristen rides lovely, lovely horses. She took a bit of a hiatus from competing at this level to have her family, and now she's back with a vengeance. She really wants to get back up and be a top competitor at this level. Coming into the first of many, many lines, the 4 to the 5, and they're both verticals, and it's nice, easy distance going in. But now you go past the end gate, and you have to make a left-hand turn back to a triple bar. So you have to have quite a lot of momentum. And Chris has been clever here. He's given them big triple bar, and then 4 nice strides, almost too nice to a Liverpool. And Liverpool is right under that jump, number 7. Round ox are going in. Distance is a little tight on the way out, and the horse catches it on the front, on the way up with the front legs. There's a bending line then to 9, and then a left-hand turn. You have to wrap around before coming back to this final line. Coming in over a big oxer with another Liverpool. 5 strides to a double, and then it's either a stay out 8 or a direct 7 to the final jump. And she gets that done.
Well, a shame to have that rail down in the triple combination. For Kristen Bond and Enough Already, they'll complete on a score of 70.6. You see there, no trouble on the clock. 76 seconds is the time allowed. So also adding those time penalties as well, Karen. So we were wondering if that time was going to be tighter for this 3-star. It wasn't an issue in the 1-star, but you see already those time penalties playing an issue. We will see if the time is adjusted.
Absolutely. After the first 3 horses, the ground jury has the option of altering the time. I think the time is going to be just fine. She didn't look like she was really going faster, not very efficient turns. So now we have Jacob Fletcher
in with Atlantic Domino. They are next to go. Another pair picking up 20 jumping penalties yesterday on the cross country, adding an additional 8.8 time. Has them on a score of 62.9.
This is a lovely big gray horse. I'm crazy about this horse, having seen it yesterday on the cross country.
Yeah, and really a bummer for them to have that issue with the brushes.
Absolutely.
But such a super jumper.
So he gets down to the 6 pretty early. It's a square oxer. The horse keeps a super balance and has no trouble wrapping around that. 5 strides riding really nice. It's going towards the end gate, so the horses are drawn to that distance. He's made a nice vertical coming out of it. Triple bar again to a first of 2 Liverpools. Has no trouble there. We'll see if this big horse can navigate through this triple combination, which is oxer, vertical, oxer. So it's a big in. Oh, he makes a very interesting, clever move to skip behind to keep his balance, because that is riding quite a tight distance, but he gets away with it.
Well, and this horse has jumped clear show jumping rounds in his last 3 internationals, including at Jersey Fresh CCI 3-star, where he finished 5th in the spring. So he can deliver clear rounds on the final day of a big competition like this, Karen.
Jacob knew he had to get down to that 5 took a little bit of a risk here at the last fence. Rather see him either get directly to it and get down there in the 7 or stay out and make it a definite 8, but that a little in between. But you know, the horse trusts him and they trust each other. They got a great partnership, so there you have a clear round.
Super clear round for Jacob Fletcher and Atlantic Domino, well inside that time allowed of 76 seconds. So they will complete on that score of 62.9. Now we look to Leslie Law and Voltaire Dutre. Another combination to unfortunately pick up those 20 jumping penalties at the brushes on cross country yesterday. Adding an additional 8 time penalties has them on a score of 61.8. This is the horse's second CCI 3-star. We saw them finish 4th at Jersey Fresh earlier in the spring. And another super jumping horse.
He's riding for Trey Book, who's from Texas and has been an owner and a facility manager and owner of competition sites, and now also horses at the highest level. So I know that he's here watching, and it's exciting to see this horse come to his top form.
The horse is 9 years old now, self-francais gelding, and did jump a clear round at Jersey Fresh in the CCI 3-star in May.
Turning back to this triple bar, he gets a good shot in, and it's just lovely over the vertical with the Liverpool under it. Got to come back to this triple combination. It's a very short 2. He really makes a big effort over the C element, the square oxer, and just rattles that back pole. He didn't quite stay out enough to make it just a little bit easier for his big horse to navigate in that number. Gets the 6th to the 2. And the 7 seems to be riding fine to the final jump, and that actually plays well into the rider's hands so that they keep going with the time allowed.
Super clear round inside the time for Leslie Law and Voltaire Dutre. See there, 74 seconds on the clock. Well inside that time allowed. The time will stand at 76 seconds. Now we look to our next in, Ellie O'Neill with Zeta. They added 15.6 time penalties yesterday in the mare's first CCI 3-star, so sitting in 7th place on a score of 55.7.
And of course, Ellie was in the 1-star, and she had that one pole in the show jumping, which really took her down the order, which was a shame. So you know she's going to want to use all of her experience to jump a nice clear round on this mare.
The mare's 11 years old now.
It's a very careful jumper. It's really just about the rideability at this point. She looks a little slow off that turn. But look at how horse just scopes right up over everything. So now we just have to continue to have rideability throughout the entire course, and that just means that when you ask the horse subtly to slow down, it slows down, it speeds up, it goes left, it goes right. It knows how to be laterally balanced and stay on the correct lead. So a lot of horses in the 1-star on the wrong lead around the turns or cross cantering, and at this level you would never want to see that. These horses should be confirmed in their education to be able to know the flying changes. They have to do them in the test. Super over there. So she just came right to left across that vertical, and that will help her a lot with her time allowed.
Well, the mare's had a rail down in her last 2 internationals, but jumped clear in the 3 rounds prior to that, and I think we're seeing here, Karen, what a super mare jumper this mare is.
And she just, you know, she came down and she ended up getting to the double on 5 strides, and I'm not sure that if she was to do it again, she might not just have taken a little bit of an extra pull and put her back on her hocks more, so she had a chance to stay off that vertical rail on the way out.
Well, you see 1 rail to add, and also adding an additional 6 time penalties for Ellie O'Neill and Zeta. But big pats for the mare. She's completed her first CCI 3-star, and that's definitely a horse for the future.
That's a lovely jumper. She should be so excited about what she's been able to do this weekend with all of her horses.
Hallie Kuhn and Lansdowne are next. Another horse making a CCI 3-star debut here at the Ocala Jockey Club, adding just 4.4 time penalties on the cross country yesterday for one of the faster rounds we saw.
This division is happening very, very fast, isn't it?
We're already into our top 5.
So she's good at the first.
It's a fabulous thoroughbred owned by Shannon Baker, who's also competing here this weekend.
Yeah, so she'll be biting her nails at the sidelines. little bit on the muscle there, a little bit driving into the hand. Hallie will want to rebalance her, put the weight, center of gravity back a little bit behind the saddle more, so she can be on the leg and not on the hand. Much better there. Good recovery. Now she's got to get going for this triple combination.
Well, and we have seen time penalties really racking up, and you see the middle
Again,
element of that triple falling there.
That's becoming the bugaboo jump, the B element, where the horses are jumping in just a little bit off of it on the first oxer. So the horses are landing flat and running, and they can't get their weight back for that upright, that B. Little braille system there and there. She gets sway with it.
And this is a big oxer as the final element, Karen.
And she was a little indecisive whether she was going to stay out for the 8 or get in there for the 7, and she again left it long that time. She gets away with it to the last fence, and she finishes with just the 1 down, I think.
Just the 1 down, and the clock just ticking over that time allowed of 76 seconds for Hallie Kuhn Lansdowne, so she will add 1 rail and an additional time penalty. So completing on 50.3. Now Erin Sylvester and Patty the Caddy are next in. Clear on the cross country, adding 7.6 time penalties, has them on a score of 43.8.
Erin has a lot of experience nationally, and then recently in the last few years internationally. She's very popular with all of the other riders. It's a family affair. Her mom is at all the competitions, and it's always, you know, wonderful to see such support from the family.
Well, and this is a fabulous jumping horse. He's an 11-year-old Irish thoroughbred gelding owned by Frank McKenty. Erin has produced him all the way through the levels. And he's very capable of jumping clear rounds. He did that at Rebecca Farm in the CCI 3-star last year when he won. So very much one who's capable of giving us that clear round, Karen.
Yeah, and she gave a really good shot going to the triple, got him quite deep, so he hung up in the air and landed steep on that triple bar, and that gave her plenty of room to get in. Yeah, I expected him to be good with his balance at the B element, just with how he handled his footwork at the Liverpool. She needs to keep him straight, not let the shoulder drift to the right. That could pay heavily as she comes to the last jump. See how he just wants to find the right corner on the landing, and you don't want him to steal the turn to the last. And a good shot out. Super.
Well,
that was a super ride. It had great balance and rhythm, and she should be delighted with that.
Easily inside the time for Erin Sylvester and Patty the Caddy. They have never had a rail down at a CCI, Karen. That is some show jumping record. They will complete on that score of 43.8, so they will finish in the top 5. They have guaranteed themselves that. Now we look to Joe Meyer and Johnny Royale, adding 5.6 time penalties on the cross country yesterday, has them in 3rd place on 41.8. So we're already into the top 3 now, Karen.
You know, that's a hard thing to say that you've never had a rail in the CCI, because usually it's the other way around. The horses are a bit tired after the cross country, and their show jumping record deteriorates at the CCI rather than the CIC level. And that's mainly because in the CCI, the show jumping's done after the cross country. So Joe starting with his lovely horse. He's coming into this first line.
It's a 10-year-old New Zealand thoroughbred.
Now we're just going past the in gate. Here's the riders have to get their horses forward and in front of the leg, make the turn for the triple bars, see a distance, then press them to the base. So they have not only a good spot off the takeoff, but lots of momentum also. And then you could just see the horse drop its belly, drop its back, and the head came up, and it's not a shape at which you can, you know, clear a vertical. It's got a Liverpool under it.
So unfortunately, that rail falling at the Liverpool.
We talked about rideability, and that's what Joe was feeling there going to the Liverpool. And when you only have 4 strides or less, you know, you don't have a lot of time to recreate rideability. So it has to be in that horse's education, so that it is something that's in their subconscious, that the horse keeps its rideability to the jump. Really good through the last line, and now off to the last fence, and super there.
And the clock also ticking over, so they will add an additional time penalty. That is going to drop him behind Erin Sylvester and Patty the Caddy, so Patty the Caddy and Aaron Sylvester will move up.
They'll end up on the podium.
They will end up on the podium. So Aaron Sylvester and Patty the Caddy have guaranteed themselves no lower than third place. But now we're really getting into the meat of it, Karen, because Lauren Kiefer and Paramount Importance are sitting in second place. They had the fastest round on the cross country yesterday, just adding the 4 time penalties to start this phase on 37.1.
And Lauren's had this horse for a year now, probably almost to the day. It was right around this time last year that he arrived. He's owned by Ms. Jacqueline Mars, and I know Jackie's not here this weekend, but I know she's watching, so I give you a shout out, Jackie. It's a shame you didn't see him in person yesterday because it was quite a performance. We were delighted to see Lauren have such a great round on him.
He's an 11-year-old Holsteiner gelding, competed at the European Championships last year with Ludwig Svennerstall. Now here in the States, and we're really excited about having this horse in the States.
Goes by the stable name of Louis.
Louis. And such a jumping machine, Karen, this
well,
horse is.
You know, this horse could be an equitation horse. I love the shape that he jumps over those jumps again and again and again. It's every single time. He really has terrific form and technique, and he could do a lot of jobs, and really is a true athlete.
So Lauren could have a rail down and still remain in second place, but she won't be
I don't
thinking
think
about
she's
that.
thinking like that.
Nope, she will want to jump that clear round to put the pressure on Catherine Coleman and Monty Classico, our overnight leaders after the cross country.
Gotta keep the pace up so she doesn't have a time fault. Lovely.
Beautiful jump into the
Oh, and
triple.
he just jumped at that. That's a shame. She was just a little bit forward. I mean, we're talking fractions. But in that kind of a combination, which Chris has been very clever with his distance and shape of the jump. Catches caught out 2 or 3 now. And then the second rail comes behind, again, in a combination of vertical coming out, where he's just lost his shape. That's a real shame for Lauren and Louis.
So that will also drop Lauren Kiefer and Paramount Importance down behind Aaron Sylvester and Patty the Caddy. So they have moved up into second place now.
Clear rounds. Visit Jimmy Wofford always says you can't win it in the show jumping, but you sure can lose it. Clear rounds are very, very important. And what's the point difference now between Aaron and Catherine?
Aaron can afford to have 2 rails down. Catherine can afford to have 2 rails down and still win. Aaron is on a score of 44.8. Catherine is on a score of 34.5. This is the horse's first CCI 3-star.
I know this horse very well, and it's just a lovely horse. She purchased it as a young horse off of Bettina Hoy in Germany, and it's had a beautiful start. And Catherine, she trains in the summers in England. She has a property there, and she trains with Luis Severa from Spain, and who is a Olympic show jump rider. So she really does work every single phase with the experts that she wants to work with. Tracy Robinson is training Catherine and all of her horses in the dressage, and of course Tracy was the dressage coach for the British team for some 30 years. For the British eventing team until Chris Bartle took the reins last year.
And Catherine has produced this horse up from the 1-star level.
Lovely through the triple. Horse really is a light ride. He's a light hold, and he keeps his balance really well, which is also why she's so fast on the cross country with him.
Well, just adding those 4.8 time penalties yesterday is what moved them up into the lead. Clear so far. She comes to these final 3 jumps on course.
Looks like we've got ourselves a winner.
We have our winner as
We
Catherine
hope.
Coleman comes to the last.
And a nice, beautiful clear.
Clear round to win the CCI 3-star at the Ocala Jockey Club. Adding the 4 time penalties, but it will not matter. She will still be our winner.
Absolutely.
With that breathing room, Catherine Coleman and Monty Classico are your winners of the CCI 3-star. Fabulous performance in the horse's CCI 3-star debut, and when you produced one all the way from the 1-star level, what a feeling.
Yeah, it's just awesome. I'm so happy for Catherine and her entire team. These horses only just arrived back from England, 10 days ago or so?
Yeah, not even 2 weeks.
Yeah, so it's been what a terrific win. I know everybody back in Louisiana that's her family and friends are so rooting for, so it's exciting.
So Catherine Coleman and Monty Classico are your winners of the Ocala Jockey Club International CCI 3-star. Aaron Sylvester and Patty the Caddy moved up into second place. We're going to take a quick break and then bring you back to look at those final scores in the 3-star.
In the rarefied hills of north central Florida sits an equestrian paradise on 950 acres, the Ocala Jockey Club. The pastures are unprecedented. The sunsets are glorious. The Ocala Jockey Club has full training services for thoroughbreds in all stages of their careers. The training track is dragged daily and irrigated to ensure proper consistency of footing. The rolling hills provide natural rehabilitation for horses. Ocala has earned its regard as the horse capital of the world.
Ocala's continued to get better every year, and I'm really excited with what's coming in the years to come for the horse sport.
The Ocala Jockey Club is also home to work-class eventing. The dramatic and rigorous cross-country course was created by an acclaimed Olympic cross-country course designer. The show jumping arena sits within clear view from the Ocala Jockey Club restaurant.
Welcome to the Ocala Jockey Club, the horse capital of the world. And here we are at this amazing venue that can hold its best in anywhere in the world.
It's a great place to train. The ground is wonderful. The people are lovely. The weather, can't really beat that.
This is fantastic. You know, this is world class.
The very best went into the inaugural international CCI 1-star, 2-star, and CIC 3-star events hosted at the Ocala Jockey Club in 2016. It was a resounding success. The Ocala Jockey Club restaurant sits perched on one of the highest points in Marion County. With panoramic views of the farm and training track, it serves as a perfect setting for weddings, clinics, family reunions, holiday parties, as well as corporate meetings and retreats. A perfect destination for resort hospitality. The Ocala Jockey Club, set in the serene natural beauty of north central Florida, is an international resort for the discerning horseman. It is like no other horse facility in the world, combining the hills of Virginia, the lush turf of Kentucky, the pastoral beauty of the English countryside with the welcoming year-long climate of Florida. The Ocala Jockey Club is a horse lover's paradise.
We've just seen the thrilling show jumping finale of the CCI 3-star at the Ocala Jockey Club International 3-day event. Catherine Coleman wins Monty Classico's first CCI 3-star. What an exciting finish, Karen.
I think it might be her first CCI 3-star win.
Oh, absolutely her
think
first 3-star win,
very
so
exciting.
a huge international win for her. She takes the win. Aaron Sylvester and Patty the Caddy jumping a clear round with one time penalty. They move up into second. Lauren Kiefer and Paramount Importance, unfortunately having those 2 rails down, they will complete in third. Those are your top 3. Final scores are on event entries, and we're actually going to take you to the awards ceremony so that you can see these winners be crowned.